Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Now, the investor tax credit, long supported by the Alberta Party, it's a good first step in rebuilding Alberta's economy. It will give investors new incentive to remain and grow their business in Alberta, but the plan is still very vague. This ambiguity has left me, and I'm sure Alberta's business community, with a lot of questions. To the Minister of Economic Development and Trade, what criteria will you use to determine which industries will be eligible for the new investor tax credit?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'll thank the member for the question, a very good question. Part of what we're doing over the summer and into the fall is consulting, and I can let this House know that we've already begun conversations with small business owners, with associations throughout the province, looking at, we want to ensure that we get the right parameters and that the investor tax credit does what it is supposed to do, which is to incent investment in Alberta-based companies. And so I can assure the member that we will be working with different sectors, different businesses to ensure that when we roll this out, we get it right.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, in the past, the minister has said the credit will only support a small subset of industries: IT, clean tech, video games. Now, these industries are certainly important to our provincial economy, but by no means do they encompass all of the possible economic activity in Alberta. And in fact, there's a big risk that the narrow focus will mean that bureaucrats will decide which businesses are worthy of investment and which are not. To the same minister, why do you think you know better than the business community when it comes to investment decisions, and will you make the only restriction for investment that companies are not already receiving government assistance?
Madam Speaker, I can assure the member that our government works with business and industry and has from the day that we formed government, and especially since this ministry was created. I was very clear, Madam Speaker, at the announcement of the investor tax credit that we are looking at areas of focus. The intention is to stimulate investment in areas that fall outside of our traditional area of strength. However, I did make it clear that in consultation with business and industry, if it is determined that this tool can be used and is critical to our oil and gas sector, that we are open to that conversation.
Thank you very much. Now, I remind the minister, Madam Speaker, that BC made the mistake of having their tax credit too narrow and have since broadened their program. So let's get specific here. Will the investor tax credit apply to an energy company that develops a carbon reduction technology, or a software developer that his current product line is used by the energy industry but could be used by others, or a welding shop that wants to expand from a focus on oil and gas to infrastructure projects? Now, these are just three of countless examples where your government is going to have to decide who's worthy and who's not. Will you do the right thing, Mr. Minister, and broaden the program?
Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'll thank the member for the question. And once again, this is part of the reason that our government is consulting with business and industry throughout the province, throughout summer and fall, to ensure that we get it right. I acknowledge the three examples that the member gave are three great examples, and again, we are open to the parameters of this. And I'll reinforce the fact that in British Columbia, there was some critique, and still is, of their investor tax credit on a number of fronts, which is why we are consulting with business and industry to ensure that the tool is the right tool for the job. Thank you, Madam Speaker.